Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new episode of the Comic Hall. This is live Comic Hall. Most of you probably will be watching it on tape delay, as it were. So here's hoping everything works. We had a little bit of a computer snafu yesterday, so I wasn't able to do my regular show, Dylan Knows, this weekend, and my weekend is now completely booked. I've got stuff planned for this evening and tomorrow, so I will not be doing an episode of Dylan Knows today. But I figured I got a little bit of time to kill here. I don't have a lot to cover right now, and I want to make sure that this works okay. So we'll be doing an episode of the Comic Hall. This is my haul for this week. This is the Comic Hall for this week. And I'm talking real fast because I only have a limited amount of time to do this, since I'm here home alone with my son and he's watching a video. It's going to be over in half an hour. So I got to do this in half an hour or quicker if I can. So we'll see. Real quick, this is my Comic Hall show. I try to do it weekly, but sometimes every other week. I just discuss what comics I bought for the week and suggest, you guys check them out also. And also, I have another show on Sundays. I just talked about Dylan Knows, but this week will be no Dylan Knows this week. Hopefully we'll be able to maybe do double up on it next week, hopefully. And that's about it I have to talk about right now. So I have it go in order. DC, Marvel, Independence. Some interesting stuff here. So we're going to do DC's first. And first up, we've got a new number one. They've been releasing some number ones here and there. So here's another new one. This is Trinity of Sin number 1. Written by James DeMatteis, with artwork by Yvel Gichet, and inks Jason Gorder. Basically, it's going to be Phantom Stranger, Pandora, and the Question, and it's going to be a supernatural comic, which I love, and James DeMatteis as a writer is fantastic. So it's some pretty nice artwork by Yvel Gichet, as it were. But perfect for Halloween if you want to get into it. As I said, get in on the ground floor, check out some of these supernatural people. And James DeMatteis is a pretty good supernatural writer. He's writing Justice League Dark as well. So pick up Trinity of Sin number 1. I really like this cover. This is Justice League number 35. And it's beginning a new story arc. This one where Lex Luthor has joined the Justice League, and now it's going to be his first time working with the Justice League. It's written by Jeff Johns, with artwork by Doug Mahnke and Ivan Reyes, with inks by Keith Champagne, Mark Irwin, Christian Alme, Ray McCarthy, and Joe Prado. I think this is their last issue as the pencilers, because it looks like what's his name? Jason Fabak is going to be taking over as the permanent artist on Justice League. So here's some nice artwork here and there. It's a lot. I was leafing through it. I haven't read it yet, but it's a lot of a lot of talking as Jeff Johns likes to do, setting up stuff. And you do get some action here and there. So Justice League's been pretty good since the crossover from last summer happened. So check that out. Talking about crossovers, we've got the Green Lantern books have a storyline going on called Godhead. This is part 4 of the Godhead, Act 1, part 4. This is Green Lantern New Guardians number 35. All the covers are pretty much similar. This one's written by Justin Jordan with nice artwork. Where's the writer? Or where's the artist, rather? I know it's Jason. Art by Brad Walker, with inks by Andrew Hennessy and Robin Riggs. So it's pretty nice looking stuff. And it's basically Green Lantern taking on the new gods who want to take on Apocalypse. So some interesting stuff going on, and it's a big, mighty crossover. So if you want to get caught up on it, they probably have all the previous parts as well. So this is the newest one, just came out this week, New Guardians number 35. Next up, DC has been doing variant covers every month with a different theme. This month it's monsters. So you have your regular cover, and then you have the monster cover as well, because it's Halloween, Monsters of the Month. So I decided to go with the monster cover for Batman and Robin number 35. It's Batman and Damian as mummies. And it's written by Peter Tomasi with artwork by Patrick Gleason and Justin Gray. Mick Gray, I should say. And it's interesting, it continues the Robin Rises storyline. I just talked about Godhead, the new gods, and Apocalypse. Well, this one has Batman actually going to Apocalypse to get Damian's body back in his bat suit of armor. So it's an interesting idea. And then we also get some of Batman's friends, Batwoman and Batgirl and Red Robin and Red Hood and everybody. So Cyborg looks like he's in this as well. So pretty cool. So it's good artwork, and Peter Tomasi's a great writer. So Batman Robin 35. And as I said, there's a regular cover. There's a Monsters of the one. I like the Monsters. That was one of the first ones I saw when they announced they were going to do Monsters of the Month. I don't normally collect this comic, though I probably should because it's just pretty good. But I got it because aftermath of Superman Doomed. It's a Supergirl number 35, where Supergirl teams up or fights the Red Hood. It's written by Tony Bedard with artwork by John Boy Myers. It actually looks really, really nice. The artwork is very nice looking. And Kara is a really interesting character. So just some really good looking stuff there. So you might want to check it out. So pretty good story. I wish I had unlimited funds and I'd start getting caught up on Supergirl. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll get the trade sometime for Christmas or something like that. Then the last 3 DCs are their weeklies. Batman Eternal, number 28. Continuing the weekly adventures of Gotham and all the stuff that's happening there. The stories by Scott Snyder, James Tynion IV, Tim Seeley, and the artwork in this one is by Megan Hetrick. So we have a female doing the artwork on it. It's okay. It focuses mostly on Catwoman. And there's some Killer Croc in there as well, but it's continuing the storyline that's been going on about what's happening in Gotham, and also has all of Batman's family in it as well as Batman, and all kinds of crazy stuff is going on. So it's all going to come to a head sometime in March or April. That's when the weeklies are going to end. The next one is Future's End, number 24. It's written by Brian Azzarello, Keith Giffen, Dan Jurgens, Jeff Lemire. Artwork is by Jesus Marino and Dan Green. Once again, the artwork is very nice looking. It's a look at the DC universe 5 years in the future, and Batman Beyond is one of the main characters in it as well. You've got like Wonder Woman and Mr. Miracle and John Constantine and Red Robin, all their 5 year later people. Superman's even been involved in it as well. Shazam, Captain Marvel, whatever you want to call him. So nice artwork by Jesus Marino, and just once again, it's going to be ending sometime in March and April. So at least somewhat. The newest weekly from DC is Earth 2 World's End, number 2. This is focusing on the Earth 2 characters, which is where DC relegated the Justice Society members when they started the New 52. This one is a story by Daniel H. Wilson and Marguerite Bennett and Mike Johnson, with art by Eddie Barrows and Eber Ferrero, Tyler Kirkham and Joe Weems, Paulo Sierra and Cam Smith, and Jorge Jimenez. Breakdowns by Scott McDaniel. So what's different is that Batman Eternal and Future's End, they have their own. They have one artist who does every issue. This one has multiple artists doing the same issue. So I don't know if that's going to keep working or if that's just something different they're going to do. But it's some different types of artwork, so it might freak you out a little bit if you're not used to seeing the different changes in the artwork. And you get to take a look at the Justice Society characters and some of the Earth 2 characters, how they are now on this Earth 2. So pretty interesting, I guess. I haven't read the first issue yet, but once again, these 3 weeklies are all converging onto one big thing that's going to end up in March or April, just in time for the anniversary of Crisis. So we'll see if that's just an omen or whatever. As you saw by my name here, the Grim Reaper, and by the name of this episode, Death Becomes Him, this week is it. It is the Death of Wolverine number 4. Pretty nice cover by Steve McNiven. This is it. This is where he dies. He's done. This is the last time you're going to see Wolverine as you know him, for now, obviously. You never know with Marvel. They'll be back, whatever. I read all 4 issues in one sitting today. It's actually been a pretty good story. Charles Soule's the writer, Steve McNiven's the artist, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. And inks are by Jay Laston. And it's just, very nice looking book. Let's see if I can get a good, just a good idea of the art. Just the art, just a great artwork by McNiven. There's some good ones there. Let's see if I can find a better one for you. So, it's hit. It's the end. That's it. We find out how Wolverine dies, and he does die in this. Die, as it were. We'll see if he returns. We shall see. But this is the final issue of Death of Wolverine. And he is dead by the end of it. So I'm not spoiling it because the title is it all there. So what's going to happen now? Well, they're going to have a ton of spin-offs and a ton of crossover stories in the various comics. Like last week's Nightcrawler had a one-off on the Death of Wolverine, which is actually, I read that today too. It was an excellent story by Chris Claremont and Marguerite Bennett. And so what they're doing now is they're doing Death of Wolverine, the Logan Legacy, #1. It's a 7-issue miniseries, I think. We're just going to take a look at, the people who were affected by Logan and his death. It's written by Charles Soule, who wrote Death of Wolverine, with art by Oliver Nome. So you've got some Mystique, you've got some Sabretooth, you probably got some X-23 in there, you got some Lady Deathstrike, and so on and so forth. So interesting stuff as people are trying to figure out what happened to Wolverine, what's going on, what's true, what's not true. And so that's the Logan Legacy. Now, in the back, I forget if it's this issue or it might have been Death of Wolverine that had all the fallout. Yeah, Death of Wolverine has all the fallout. So it's going to be Life After Logan, the Logan Legacy 1-7, Weapon X Program 1-5, Storm 4 and 5, Nightcrawler 7, Deadpool, Captain America #1, Wolverine the X-Men 10 and 11. So it has a little bit of some crossover. So Logan Legacy #1 will be focusing on what happens after Logan's death. So Wolverine is dead. He died this week. We'll see how long he lasts staying dead. I'm not expecting for a very long time. I just don't know how they're going to bring him back yet. So we shall see. They're going to at least 7 months because they've got that 7-issue miniseries of Logan Legacy, unless they're going to be doing 2 a month, so 2 or 3 a month. So that could be a different story then. So we'll see. It might not be come back till the beginning of the new year. Who knows? But as every cynical comic book person knows, he will be back at some point. Now, speaking of this Death of Wolverine stories, Storm #4, written by Greg Pak with art by Raul Ibanez, or Victor Ibanez, I'm sorry, came out this week also. I read this one as well. While not as heartbreaking as Nightcrawler's one was, this is actually a 2-part storyline that's more about the legacy of Logan, and pretty interesting what Storm does to, give her, love to Logan, and we run into some old friends, and meanwhile Storm eventually gets involved in a Fight Club type of thing, which Wolverine was a part of. So very interesting there. So good. I read that. It was pretty good. It's a good series, so check it out. Speaking of series, so that was the one big, Death of Wolverine's got that one big crossover thing going on. The next big one is Spider-Verse is coming up. Edge of Spider-Verse #5. I believe this might be the last issue of Edge of Spider-Verse, and Spider-Verse starts next month. This one takes a look at Japanese Spider-Man. Every issue has been a different look at a different Spider-Man. This one is written by Gerard Way with art by Jake Wyatt. And so, pretty interesting take on Spider-Man. And, it's always interesting because every Spider-Man, every Spider iteration will be in the Edge of Spider-Verse storyline. And, it'd be worth checking out. So, Edge of Spider-Verse #5, check that out Also connected to the Edge of Spider-Verse, we have the new issue of Spider-Man 2099, #5. What's interesting about this is Peter Davis, the writer, he wrote Spider-Man 2099 back when it first came out, back in the early 90s, I guess. The artwork was by Rick Leonardi, and it was fantastic. Well, this issue, Rick Leonardi comes back to do artwork. Doesn't look the same as it did when he did it before. Let's see, it looks a little bit different than it did before. than he did before, but still have Rick Leonardi draw this character again is fantastic. So Spider-Man 2099 is going to play a big role in the Edge of Spider-Verse, or rather in the Spider-Verse storyline. So hopefully things are going to go good. We'll see. So Spider-Man 2099 is an Edge of Spider-Verse crossover as well. And the last bit of crossovers we're going to deal with is Axis, which I haven't been reading. It's Avengers X-Men, but it crosses over into Magneto, which is a book I do read. Cullen Bunn is the writer. Artwork is by Gabriel Hernandez Walta. And I don't think you need to know what's going on in Axis to understand this, but it's Magneto, as you've really never seen it before. Pretty good series so far. And Wolverine, Magneto is going around gathering some villains, so it should be interesting to see what they're going to do with Axis. So that came out this week also. Now the non-crossover Marvels, we've got Miss Marvel #9. Miss Marvel is a great series, good for all ages. My daughter loves it. My wife loves it. I love it. It's written by G. Willow Wilson with art by Adrian Alfona. It's pretty cool artwork and interesting. It's a good story. What's interesting is it's a Middle Eastern heroine, and G. Willow Wilson is a Middle Eastern woman writing about a Middle Eastern hero, who's female, and I think Adrian Alfona is a female as well. So all female stuff, and it's good. It's a good series, and it's very interesting. It has crossover with Inhumans and Lockjaw and all that stuff, and it's very, very interesting. So check that out. Hulk #7. Jerry Dugan is the writer. Mark Bagley is the artist. He's doing some sort of search for gamma people and trying to cure them, their gamma stuff. So we run into all kinds of gamma irradiated people. Mark Bagley's artwork is phenomenal as always. Jerry Dugan is taking over from Mark Waid. So we'll see how that goes. They've announced a Planet Hulk crossover for next year, which is odd because Marvel seems to be going back to their old crossover stories. They've announced Planet Hulk, they announced Armor Wars, they announced the Days of Future Past new series. So there's a whole bunch of stuff. So I don't know exactly what Marvel is planning on doing or what's going on. So we'll see what happens. Daredevil #9. Mark Waid continues to write this. I think Chris Samney is the artist on this as well. Let me just double check it. Yep. So it's continuing the story about the purple children who can control people, and they seem to be going after Daredevil. And nice artwork, good story by Mark Waid. So you gotta love that stuff. So Daredevil #9 is out this week as well. So that does it for the Marvel and DC's portion of our comic call, and just a few independents, and then I'll be out of here. A couple of #1s based on TV shows. First up is Sleepy Hollow #1 from Boom Studios, based on the Sleepy Hollow TV show Mondays on Fox, which is a fantastic series, by the way. Marguerite Bennett, who's been mentioned a lot today, writing it, and Jorge Colajo is the artist, a unique artist in his own right. So, but it does take place firmly in the Sleepy Hollow story and of the TV show. So if you've seen the TV show, then you will absolutely love this. I haven't read it yet, so I don't know if it's easy for people who've never seen the show before. So we'll see. But so there it is. If you're a fan of the Sleepy Hollow TV show, they have a comic now. You can go out and buy it. Also, if you're a fan of Doctor Who. Last week I did the Doctor Who, the 10th Doctor, which they have a comic out. They also have a comic out of the 11th Doctor. So why not? Let's do the 12th Doctor, #1. Doctor Who, the 12th Doctor, #1. It's Peter Capaldi. It's written by Robbie Morrison with art by Dave Taylor. So they are doing stories based on the Capaldi Doctor Who now, who's going on now. So once again, if you're a fan of Doctor Who, if you're a fan of Capaldi, you might want to check this out. If you're not a fan of the Doctor Who TV series, but you're a fan of Capaldi Who, you might want to check this out. You might like the stories better. So Doctor Who 12th Doctor #1 is out this week as well. One of my favorite Image books, because I'm a big history guy, is Manifest Destiny. And newest issue, number 11, I believe, is out this week. Gorgeous artwork, great story. It was what if Lewis and Clark, when they're exploring the West, when they go westward expansion and they're exploring all that, what if they discover all kinds of crazy supernatural creatures? Because at the time, nobody knew what was going on. Nobody knew what was going on in westward expansion. So why not have there be strange creatures? So all kinds of crazy stuff, but the storyline is fantastic, the artwork is gorgeous, and it is well worth reading, especially if you're a history buff as well. So fantastic. And my last one before I shut down for the day is Lumberjanes #7, another great story for kids. It's about a group of Girl Scouts, but they're called Lumberjanes, and their adventures in really weird supernatural woods with Bigfoots and mystical creatures and gold deer and spirits and stuff like that. So it's a very interesting story. But as I mentioned before, what makes it very even more interesting, here's some good artwork. What makes it very interesting is that they do every issue has a playlist in it of real songs that you can play while reading the book. And I mean, there's songs from Julie Andrews, Amy Winehouse, and those are the only ones I recognize. But then Nina Simone is another one. Then you got people I never heard of before, like Sarah Jarosz and Geraldine Steele and Etta Baker and Brandy Carly and the Wailing Jennies and Oku. So modern music as well as some old style stuff. And it's a good story. It's a fun story for kids as well. My daughter loves it as well. Another reason why my daughter loves it is because it's written by Noelle Stevenson. My daughter's name is Noelle. And Grace Ellis with illustrations by Brooke Allen. So Lumberjanes #7 is worth it, also from Boom Studios. All right. I'm almost done. I just want to remind you that next Saturday, the 25th of October, is the Halloween comic special event. I think it's supposed to run all weekend, but I've recently only been seeing it happening on Saturday, so you might want to go on Saturday then. It's a free comic book day, but in the fall, so you can go to your local comic store. They should have free comic books for you guys and for your kids in all ages, and special events, and might have artists and stuff like that. And since it's right around Halloween, they might have trick-or-treating costume contests and stuff like that. I know that Reisterstown, where I live, we're doing a Halloween spooktacular next weekend, and this Halloween comic event is going to be part of that. So trick-or-treat, kids will be dressed up trick-or-treating at the strip mall where my comic store is and stuff like that. So it's well worth it. So next weekend, go to your local comic store, get some free comics. There's going to be a lot of Halloween-oriented, scary ones, but they are for all ages. So you're going to see all kinds of really good stuff and some neat stuff. As I said, they'll have special offers probably at their store. They might have writers, artists signing stuff as well. They'll have costume contests as well. And so it's just well worth it just to go into the store, get some free comics, and just check out, what's new in comics. If you like what you've been seeing here, you might be able to pick up some of the stuff. I mentioned Miss Marvel. If you want to get caught up in Miss Marvel, the first trade came out this week as well. So you can go to the comic store next week or this week and get caught up in Miss Marvel real quick and pick up the next couple issues after it. So you'll be caught up in no time. So just go to the comic stores, have fun. That's all we ask is that's why I do this show, so try to get more people to read comics because we need it. I know this seemed a little quickly, but I got to get moving because I got stuff going on today and tomorrow. So you won't be seeing me again probably until next week sometime. So you guys have fun. Go to the comic store, pick up some of the comics I talked about. But as I said, this isn't every comic that came out this week. This is not every comic that came out this week. These are just comics that I collect. There's a whole bunch more that came out this week as well. And you've probably been hearing all the big stuff. As I said, Death of Wolverine #4, where he actually does die, is out this week. So you might want to pick that up as well. So on that note, I'm going to say goodbye, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. And don't forget, the Halloween Comic Festival next Saturday. Go to your local comic store, get some free comics, maybe buy some stuff as well. Say hi, wear costumes, get cool stuff, get free stuff. All right. Take care, and I'll see you later. Bye.